So don't be like me and ship items at the wrong time from China, because it could delay your package up to 30 to 40 days and you don't want to do that. In this video, I'm going to be sharing you some tips on how to avoid the worst times to be shipping inside of China, so stay tuned. Now, I don't care if you ship from AliExpress, Alibaba, 1668, Taobao, Jingdong, Pinduoduo, doesn't matter. As long as you're sourcing from China, you're going to run into these problems during these times. Unless you have a warehouse where you actually in advance keep inventory, you will run into these issues during these times. I've been working for a tech company that deals with large bulk orders overseas, and I also own a e-commerce shop that sells more to B2C. Although I may not be the expert, I have some experience and background in this industry. So what I gotta say is never make promises during these times when shipping from China. Make sure that you place all your orders at least 2 weeks before the start of the holiday or 2 weeks afterward. So let's actually talk about the worst times to ship from China. In my opinion, there are 2 times of the year that you don't want to be ordering or shipping goods from China. The first is Chinese New Year's, also known as Chinese Spring Festival, and the second is National Day. Both of these holidays usually are mandated by the government to at least be 7 days off, depending on what period of time it is. But for the most part, all of China is on vacation during these times. You can also consider that for factories to actually be producing goods during these times, need to sometimes pay double, if not even triple, their base salary just to get the staff to keep working and fulfilling orders. So it's really not so profitable for a lot of companies in which they decide not to employ the staff, or they have to go through a specific and tedious process to get them to work overtime during this time. So let's talk about the times that these events happen. Let's start off with Chinese New Year's or Chinese Spring Festival. Well, this is based on the lunar calendar, so the times may change, but as a rough idea, it usually happens either at the end of January or the beginning of February. And again, this could be up to 7 days long. Now, for the national holiday, it's actually usually the same time of the day each year, and you can expect it to be the first week of October. So during January and February and October, you don't want to be putting bulk orders or very important key orders during this time, because you may be at risk of being delayed. And the reason I tell you guys to place orders 1 or 2 weeks before or after the holidays are over is because a lot of people like to take leave beforehand so that they can beat the holiday rush. So in the western part of the world, if you're used to taking holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know that the flights and trains are usually sold out. Well, actually right now it's about 3 weeks away from Chinese New Year's for 2021, and a lot of the tickets for the speed train are actually sold out. So this is a huge migration of people all around China. So you just want to be wary that people do want to take leave beforehand, and sometimes even a couple days after the holidays, just so that they don't have to deal with the rush hour holiday season. Something I do want to add is that some factories are at risk for their workers not coming back. So let's say they don't like their job, or they're happy where they are at home and they get used to it. Well, if they receive their bonus right before the Chinese holidays, which is actually quite common in a lot of companies in China to receive a bonus before Chinese New Year's, then they may be tempted not to go back to work because they got a hefty bonus in their pocket and they're ready to celebrate. So when these companies start manufacturing again, they may be short-staffed. That can affect your supply chain by about 20 to 30 days, depending on what type of goods they are. Now, if I were you, it also wouldn't hurt to contact the factory directly to see their production schedule, because they may also take into account other Chinese holidays outside of Chinese New Year's and Chinese National Day to go ahead and shut down their shop for any orders you may have. So it's just good to know this beforehand. Every factory will be different and they have different policies. But for the most part, during these 2 major holidays, a lot of people like to take rest, or if not, if they do work overtime, it will cost the employer a lot of cash. So to give you a summary of what I just mentioned, the 2 worst times to actually ship from China or to order goods from China is Chinese New Year's and National Day in China. Chinese New Year's is usually at the end of January or the beginning of February, and National Day is usually the first week of October. So during these periods of time, you may want to put a notice on your e-commerce website or any website that you use to source from China in which you don't have inventory for, hey, your products may be delayed 20 to 30 days during this period because the goods are being manufactured or pretty much the factory's on vacation. Question I have for you: do you have any shipping nightmares that you've experienced shipping from China? Did what I just mentioned make any sense to you guys? Did you experience this firsthand when you order something in the middle of Chinese New Year's for a high-end customer and ended up falling through? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you learned something, keep surviving, and I'll catch you in the next video.